Butser Ancient Farm is known for bringing archaeology to life, and in partnership with Fishbourne Roman Palace has held a series of Roman-themed events where it was possible to see some real Roman artefacts and learn about how ancient buildings were made. Joining us in the studio to tell us more now is archaeologist Claire Walton. Well, Claire, thank you so much for coming in. I see you've brought some wonderful things to show us as well.
Yes, I have. What I brought you today are some examples of ceramics which were excavated from a site near Fishbourne Roman Palace in 1992. I think it was done as part of excavations before a housing estate was built on top of it. And they've been stored in an archive more or less ever since. And Fishbourne Roman Palace has got to the point where they cannot find any more space in their archive to store the stuff that continually gets presented to them. So at some point, you have to decide what you're going to do with that archive. So they very generously said that they would be willing to let us have some of the artefacts that were in this collection because we'd like to use them at Butser for, well, a variety of purposes, really.
Fantastic.
So we have school education. So from my perspective as an archaeologist, one of the things I love most is that children get to touch and feel something.
It makes it a bit more real, doesn't it?
Brings it to life, and they're able to say they've touched something that a Roman person really made. But also we have a Roman villa which we constructed on the site, which is a replica of a villa which was discovered near Winchester. It's called Sparsholt Roman Villa. And we've had the villa there since 2003. And it's had thousands of children pass through it and visitors over the years, and it has sustained a bit of wear and tear, and we'd like to renovate it. So we're in the process of doing that. So Fishbourne's offer was very timely because we'll be able to use some of the bits of ceramics in the renovation process. So, for example, the flooring of the villa really needs to be looked at. We need to make it accessible for wheelchairs on a practical level, but we'd also like to make it more accurate. And there's a flooring material found in lots of Roman houses called opus signinum, which is a mixture of things, but one of the ingredients is bits of ceramics. So we've used some of the bits of ceramics that Fishbourne Roman Palace have given us.
So proper recycling then?
Absolutely, that's exactly what the Romans would have done. They'd have taken old bits of ceramic and they'd have recycled it. So we're just doing the same. Wow,
and I suppose to some people they may find this some pieces in their garden and think, oh, it's just a bit of pot or something like that. But actually some of these facts, they kind of give you clues onto how they were made as well. So is it this one here has got people's thumbprints in them?
Yeah, so I have to point out that this one actually doesn't come from Fishbourne, but it's a very interesting piece, so I did want to show you it. It actually comes from an excavation run by Liss Archaeology, who are one of the local archaeology units with which we like to keep a close association. They're excavating a Roman villa up near a place called Colmore. They've actually, you can see that pieces of pottery usually have a little sort of code on them, and that tells you where the excavation took place and its various dates and things. But this is interesting. It's a piece of local pottery. It's black, and it's from Alice Holt, which is a little bit further north of here. And you can usually tell that it's Alice Holt by the colour. But what's interesting about it is that on the inside of this piece of pottery, there are some finger marks that somebody has made. The Roman person who originally made this, that is their fingerprint. So I love that you can put your hand in that, and you can put your fingerprint.
I was going to say a little bit smaller than mine, maybe. But,
well, maybe it was a lady that made it.
So that's incredible that it's managed to survive all this time as well.
Well, interestingly, the fingerprints may actually not just be the process of making the pot. They might be there intentionally, and we say that because they're too big to just be accidental. We think that it might be a beehive.
Oh, wow.
And that these are actually intentionally made inside the pot so that when you stuff it with straw for the bees to live within, it enables the straw to stick to the sides of the pot. So that's one theory about why those are there.
And that's the whole point of the farm as well, is that people can actually come in, get hands-on with these artefacts. I believe you've got some sort of replica artefacts as well that people can kind of have a look at. And how did that fit into the Roman events that you had over the summer?
Okay, well, we did a whole series of Roman events, and they were themed around different topics. So, for example, the first one was, I'm trying to think back a whole month ago now, the first one featured Roman domestic life. So we looked at the activities that Romans might have carried out in Roman Britain, so washing clothes, how they would have washed clothes, how they would have processed raw materials to make them into, for example, equipment to polish metal, for cleaning pottery. I mean,
And I saw a Roman catapult whilst I was there as well.
yeah, that's not really much to do with domestic life, but it was so good we couldn't give it a miss. I had some students who came from Cardiff University, and one of their tasks while they were there is I asked them to recreate a scale model of essentially a catapult, which we built at Butser a few years ago. Another archaeologist oversaw that project, and we tried to overcome one or two of the issues that he had encountered. And so that was just another opportunity for just to see it in action and for the public to see how these machines would have worked. So although it was a scale replica, it was great. We fired apples and we fired them down the field and wrote people's initials on each apple so you could see whose apple went the furthest. But that was great fun.
Brilliant. Well, as we said, unfortunately, the summer events have now finished, but people can still visit the farm and come and have a look at these artefacts. I mean, if they wanted to come and have a look for themselves, how do they go about doing that? Well,
obviously, you can visit Butser Ancient Farm. At the moment, in the summer, we're open 7 days a week, so they're welcome to come on down. There's always things on. There's often people doing activities on the farm. So, for example, today I cut a small crop of flax and we're starting to harvest it. And these are all things the public can come and engage with. I actually have 2 new students, and over the course of the month they're here, we will be, amongst other things, looking at Neolithic tools. So the public would probably really enjoy seeing people making a Neolithic tool. And we're also going to make powders and pigments for Neolithic painting as well.
Fantastic. All sounds exciting stuff. Unfortunately, we have run out of time today, but you're more than welcome to come back and let us know how things are developing.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.